One of the big hopes when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2 was this idea that there was nothing to play on this console, that there were no games for it, that there was only one good launch game for Nintendo Switch 2. And this is obviously a complete and total lie. Obviously, you have a huge back catalog of games you could have picked up on the console day one. Plenty of people have not played any of these games, and so I thought that I would take the time to talk about, some of the games I was playing for the first week or so, to kind of emphasize my point, to kind of emphasize that the Switch 2 did have a very solid launch lineup, that you did have a lot of options, and that there were a lot of games to play. And I do think it's important to emphasize the fact that games don't need to be exclusive to be successful on the console, because that's another thing I keep hearing too, that nobody's buying third-party games on Switch, nobody cares about older games on Switch, but I found in a lot of cases that a lot of the games I'm playing are games that are quite a bit older than the Switch 2 itself. So we will be talking about that today. Let's talk about the 5 of the games that I have been playing on the console over the past couple of weeks. And yes, we are going to have to start with Mario Kart World, because you really can't talk about the console without bringing up this specific release, because this is the big new Nintendo developed day one launch exclusive with hundreds of hours of content, endlessly replayable, all these fresh, exciting new mechanics, amazing new tracks, amazing open world to explore. Mario Kart World is one of the best games of the year, bar none. And it really needs to be said that this game is absolutely worth owning the console for. If you're only going to buy the Switch 2 for Mario Kart World, you will get your money's worth. This is an amazing game and a very good example of just what the Nintendo Switch 2 can do. Absolute perfection. Soulcalibur II is one of my favorite games of all time. So seeing the best version of the game re-released on the console was actually a huge deal for me personally. With up-res visuals and online play, this is the definitive version of the game right now, especially if you go out and get a GameCube controller. It is just impeccable to see just how well the game is aged, how much content it has, how much fun all of the characters are to play as. This really is one of the all-time greats. And one of the things we really do need to discuss going forward is, keeping these kind of games relevant for younger audiences, because I feel like this one is something that a lot of people will overlook, because I keep seeing people complain about GameCube, keep complaining about the launch lineup, but in reality, 2 of those 3 games are phenomenal, 2 of my all-time favorites in a lot of ways. So to see so many people disregard the GameCube application after spending so much time complaining about wanting it really is a good example of just how the audience just is unpleasable. Day one, the GameCube app was phenomenal with Wind Waker and with Soulcalibur II, and it's only going to get better with time. So again, I'm sure by the end of next month, we are going to get at least one more Nintendo GameCube game, and I cannot wait to see what they release next. Although nowhere near the level of quality as something like Soulcalibur II, Street Fighter VI is the newer fighting game on Nintendo Switch 2. Featuring a online hub and a single-player campaign. Okay. This is the best option you have when it comes to modern fighting games on Nintendo Switch 2. The game has a lot of technical depth, and it's a lot of fun to play online and compete with other people. There's a wide range of characters to choose from. More are being added all the time. You get the first 2 years of DLC characters for free. This is a good option to purchase if you're looking into getting the game for the first time. In my opinion, Fantasy Life 2 is probably the most overlooked hit on the console. Right now, it's the best-selling third-party game on the console, other than Cyberpunk. You know, it already had a lot of success on the Nintendo Switch 1, and it seems to be very, very popular with, like, a wide range of people. And it's pretty easy to see why. The game is pretty easy to get into. It's fairly pleasant to look at. It's fun to play. It's overly simplistic, but that may not be a bad thing for younger players. To me, like, Fantasy Life 2 is a really good example of just how titles like this can come out and, like, you know, kind of resonate with people in spite of not being the best and having all their own, like, you know, problems or whatever. People enjoy Fantasy Life 2 for what it is, and I think that is a very grand thing indeed. This game has quite a lot of content, quite a lot of things to do. It's very grindy, so people are spending a lot of time with it. And yeah, this may be a game worth picking up if you're looking for something a little bit different and something a little bit more life simish.
Top assassins working for the ICA.
Last, and certainly not least, is my favorite third-party game on the console, Hitman World of Assassinations. Now, I've never played a Hitman game before, so that may be a big reason why I'm so enamored with this one. But essentially, World of Assassinations is a compilation of 3 different Hitman games, you know, the remake trilogy of, you know, 2018, 2021, I think recently, and I don't know when these games came out exactly, but you have 3 different games and a wide range of, like, other content, including an online roguelike mode, you know, monthly missions where you go after, like, targets from movies, like that guy from Casino Royale, and just enough achievements to keep you coming back over and over again. You know, we were talking on stream, and I've gotten confirmation about this, and I suspect it's going to be true. This is going to be a game that I put hundreds of hours into, because there's so much to do, so much to accomplish, so many, like, fun story bits. Like, it is just remarkable just how the developers have managed to make something so endlessly replayable and fun. Like, I've been, like, taken aback by how much I've been enjoying this trilogy of games. And even though I've only finished the first, and I'm about halfway through the second, a little over halfway, I think, like, I can already tell you this is one of my favorite games of the year. And this is coming from the same developer who's working on the James Bond game that's coming out, First Light. So that is something that's gotten me really fired up and really excited about the potential, because this really is something that feels like a Bond experience, with all the exotic locations, all the fun, memorable characters, all just the personality, and just it's such a unique video game. And honestly, like, after having played it, I have to say, I can't think of a better stealth game, you know? Like, I've been playing, I haven't been super into stealth over the past decade, because, like, you know, there haven't been a lot of good ones coming out, and not a lot of them come on Nintendo consoles, and it's just been kind of rough for me to get into the genre. But, like, I have to say, this might be the best stealth game I've ever played, you know, because it does expect you to, like, think about what you're doing. It does expect you to, like, utilize your environments, and, like, you know, each stage is completely unique and different, and it just feels as if, like, you can get so much out of replaying these stages over and over and over again. You know, like, it's just phenomenal, and it is by far the game I would personally recommend over any other third-party game on the console. I'm just really, really enjoying the game, and intend to put a lot of time into it this year.